Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rachaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect house of David. So real quick, I wanted to get into this topic, dealing with the men of the Lord, because it seems as though this world has blinded, a lot of you Israelites' minds as pertaining to how the men of the Lord will be accepted by the world, how they will look, their demeanor, the language they use, and basically who they would be. And I'm going to start off here because a lot of you people think that the prophets of the Lord, are going to be all like these humble, well-spoken, which there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to have particular brothers who come from particular backgrounds, and who are more well-spoken than others. All right. But when you come to see a prophet, all right, as Yahushua said, what came you to see when he spoke of John the Baptist? And what you're going to find out, the followers of the Messiah, the direct followers of the Messiah, were rough around the edges, all right, used harsh language, and they weren't your everyday neighborhood preacher walking around in suits and ties and telling lies, okay? And we're going to show you that in the Bible, all right, and go to facts, historical facts, dealing with Nazareth. The Messiah himself was, he was born in Bethlehem, but he was raised in Nazareth. And when you find out about Nazareth, which I'll go to an old video I did because the article was shut down. Edom probably saw the video I did and, locked the article up. You got to have a password to get into the site now. But basically, the article went into how Nazareth was likened into Oakland, Detroit, New Orleans, the ghetto. It was the hood. And that's why it was stated in the Bible, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? So when you're looking at the men of the Lord, when you're looking at the brothers, we're not going to be these well-spoken, we're not going to have on the same, uniform and be perfect and eloquent according to this world. All right. But in spirit, we are perfect. Okay. Lord willing, we're of that body. Now, this is 1 Corinthians 1:26. Because a lot of Israelites are now in this spirit that, we make Israel look bad, but how much more? What if they saw John the Baptist? What if they saw the Messiah himself? What if they saw the followers of the Messiah, Peter? What you're going to find out is that you all will reject them and call them crazy and too rough. All right. 1 Corinthians 1:26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. All right. You have some brothers, all right, who are eloquent and have these characteristics, but overall, the house of David is going to be an afflicted and poor people. Okay. It says, but God have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Okay. So we are foolish according to this world. We're hated and looked down. We're not a stronghold. All right. So to speak. We're not something that people would look to find out any form of truth. Okay. And God have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. All right. And the base things of the world and the things which are despised have the Most High have chosen, yea, the things which are not, all right, to bring to naught the things that are. And that's how the Lord rolls. He rolls with the underdog. The least place where you expect truth to be, that's where the Lord will put it. So that those who receive it will receive it for the power and for the spirit of the thing, not for the look. All right. And we're going to be highly exalted and given riches out of this world. All right. Once we're glorified. But right now we're afflicted and poor so that the power can be of the Most High and not of us, pertaining to 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. We have these mysteries in earth. We have this doctrine, basically, it's been given unto us in these earthen vessels, As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. 2 Corinthians 4. 7. It says, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not of us. You see that? We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. You see that? Always bearing about in the body the dying of Yahushua HaMashiach, that the life of Yahushua might be made manifest in our body. Okay, so when you go to it, let's finish this in 1 Corinthians. It says, and the base things of the world have the Most High chosen. All right, the things which are despised have he chosen, and the things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. All right, that no flesh should glory in his presence. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua doesn't want the whole world to glory in his presence, man. All right, if anything, the world is supposed to look at his true setup and his true men and say, ugh. Okay, now, real quick, this is 1 Samuel 22, all right, and 1. Before I get into it, it says, because the house of David is the Lord's church. And David therefore departed from thence and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brethren and his fathers heard it, they went down thither to him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented gathered themselves unto him. And he became captain over him, all right, and there were with him about 400 men. So you can see the men of the Lord, the house of David, are going to be an afflicted and poor people, which Zephaniah 3:12 lets you know that. Now, going into when the Lord gathered his men, okay, he said, I'm going to make you fishers of men, right? Now, who did he first gather? Peter, all right, which was, his name was Simon at the time, and his brother Andrew, which they were followers of John the Baptist, okay? Now, Yahushua went to them, and what were they doing? They were fishing, all right? Mark 1:16, now as he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw Andrew and Simon and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into a sea, for they were fishers. You see that? They were fishers, man, okay? They were fishers. Now, let's look up fishers at that time, okay? As you can see, it says fishermen at that time were gruff, unkempt, vile, shabbily dressed, and often used vulgar language. You see that? The fishermen of the first century were a man's man. All right? They were full of vigor and had boisterous tempers. This is perhaps why James and his brother John were called the sons of thunder. So Yahushua didn't go to the high up nobles and great men of that empire and try to find his followers. No, he went to the rough around the edges, all right, the men, all right, who he perceived would be fit, all right, to be his followers. Not no pretty boys, and which you're going to have particular brothers who are in a fashion. You're going to have particular brothers who, you know, who are handsome and get women and or well put together. There's nothing wrong with that. But overall, what I'm saying is the followers of the Lord, all right, are overall not what this world would expect as a preacher, as a follower of the Messiah, okay? Because this world has crucified the true image of the Messiah, and you Israelites, you go right along with it, and you help them promote that garbage. And you think that the men of the Lord are supposed to be like that. That's why you were following after IUIC, but look what that's got you. You see that? They're more put together. They're, you know, they say their cadence is all at the same time. They all got on the same garments. You know, they marching up and down the street with the cadences. You know, and that has the Lord never gave that as a, you know, of what he wanted his man to be. Okay? But see, you guys have itching ears and you heap teachers unto yourself, trying to run away from the true men of the Lord, man. They say we stink. They say we ugly. They say we our garments are Torah. We've been ridiculed for all of these things, man. All right. It says, this is perhaps why James and his brother John were called the sons of thunder. This was a rough life, since fishing was a very physically demanding job. They must have been somewhat fearless too, because Some of the storms that quickly came upon the Sea of Galilee were fierce and furious. They often caught the fishermen by surprise and could easily capsize the 20 to 30-foot boats that they use. So, as you can see, fishermen, all right, which all of his followers for the most part were, all right, they were rough around the edges, man. They were, all right, they used harsh language, all right. Furthermore, okay, as we just read, now, let me see here. Let me get John 1:45 and bring this out real quick. John 1:45. It says, Philip findeth Nathanael and said unto him, We have found him of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Yahushua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph, which he was from the house and lineage of David. You see that? So they found him because the men of the Lord were looking at the scrolls and saying, okay, he's supposed to come like this, he's supposed to come like that. He would do. So they were looking, and when they finally found him, and they found the man who fit the prophecies, they were like, damn, here he goes. And this is what we should be doing as far as the men of the Lord. The Lord said he would leave an afflicted and poor people who would trust in the name of the Lord. Okay? And you see that happening right here before your eyes on the planet Earth. Okay? So it says, and Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? You see that? He said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Now, why did he say that? Okay, it said, Philip said unto him, Come and see. All right. And Yahushua saw Nathanael and said unto him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom was no guile. He knew that he was one of the elect. Okay. And he knew that through the Spirit. He knew that by looking at him in his spirit. Okay. But why did Nathanael say, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Now, I'm going to play this video that I did a while back, and we can get some understanding on that, because the article shut down, and this was the best one fit for this lesson. Okay. The Messiah, this lesson is called The Messiah Was From the Hood. What good can come from Nazareth? The Messiah was from the hood. And the reason I did this video is because you had particular other Israelite groups, you know, we were like, you know, bringing up, you know, Abba Bivens and all of it. It was like, so you mean Elijah the prophet would be in Harlem? You know, they were mocking us like, you guys stink, your garments are wrinkled. And so I brought this out just to show them that they would say the same thing about the Messiah today. So without further ado, I'm going to play the video. Rattlesnake, a realrattlesnake.com. It goes into Christianity, culture, you know, and all of that. So the title of this article is, Can Anything Good Come Out of Nazareth? All right. It says the Gospel of John opens with someone asking, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? All right. It says, let's jump back 2,000 years. Nazareth was located in Galilee, far north of Jerusalem, and just went of the urban Hellenized Decapolis, the larger Greek cities, but this town did not hold the thick luster of a big city, nor the quiet, rustic appeal of a small town. Nazareth was the quiet, poor backwood of the Roman Empire. Okay? What is the poor backwoods of America? These inner cities that we live in, man. Okay? Archaeologist James Strange estimates that the population of Nazareth around the time of Yahushua's birth was a maximum of 480. Scholars believe that the city was small, ridden with filth, and plagued with the first century hillbillies. So he was basically like, he was from the hood. Now the word Nazareth means branch, all right, and basically Yahushua is that branch spoken of in the prophecies that will come, all right, the branch, all right, the root of David, okay, the root of Jesse. From a little small country town, what you would say today, small country poor town. Okay, now they showed a picture of Nazareth here. All right, so they showed a picture of it. Now Baloo's argument is that if John the Baptist was here, he would come from Harlem. He's in Harlem, huh? Well, Yahushua came from a poor city, Nazareth, and this is not where he was born, but this is where he was raised when he fled Roman persecution all right, running from Herod and them, he ended up in Nazareth, back in Nazareth, all right, because he went to Egypt for a while because there was a population of Jews in Egypt at the time, man. So he went and hung with his people amongst there, and then he ended up coming back here to Nazareth, all right, and he was raised here, all right. So it says, Nazareth was no Rome then nor now, all right. It says, and there are many modern day Nazareths. The legacy of this town persists today even in every backwood, forgotten, impoverished village that the empire has left behind. The spirit of Nazareth echoes today in every ostracized and occupied city in the whole and country where outsiders expecting no good thing to come from. Nazareth is Detroit, Rio, Calcutta, Selma, Inglewood. You know, you got Oakland, you got New Orleans, you know, Baltimore, you know, New York. The rough inner city is where the Messiah was raised, man.
That's right.
And that's where he came up. This is one of the reasons why no one believed that he was the Messiah, man. And this is the reason why Baloo and a lot of you guys look at us, but then you act like you're any different, man. Because we're lowly, we're afflicted and humbled and meek, you know. Not rich in worldly possessions, you know. We don't boast in those things, you know. People don't see a leader could be from a small or crazy place like that. That's why they don't believe we're the Israelites overall. But you got you niggas taking hold to that same white supremacist mind frame.
Right.
And you're pushing it out there, man. It says Nazareth is Egypt, Kazakhstan, Uruguay, Palestine. It is whatever place the empire has turned its nose in the air and looked away from that bears the battered, resilient spirits of Yahushai's hometown, all right? Then, as now, we see Nazareth to the world was nothing special. So that's you, Baloo. Harlem? Well, according to the scriptures and according to when you do research, Yahushai came from a town that would be likened unto Harlem, okay? All right, it says, people weren't expecting big things, all right? And that's the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. He takes the lowest thing, and that's where he puts his power, man. And this is what needs to be pushed, man.
Right, and we're those Gentiles now. And where's the majority of us brothers that you see putting these great lessons together and flowing in the spirit? Where are we from? We're from the hood, man. You know, from the straight up hood, man. It ain't that every brother was a gangbanger, but we grew up right there, man, for the most part. All right? Me, myself, I never took on to the mentality of the hood. That just was never me. But I grew up right there. You see? And you got people who brag on that, but I'm not bragging. But what I'm saying is we are just like Yahushai, man. We weren't born in these glorious places. We didn't go to these glorious universities and get these great letters and all of that. You know, some brothers went to college, you know, got degrees and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, according to this world, we wouldn't fit the bill of what a scholar would be or a preacher would be. You know, teacher, prophet, you know. Well, Yahushua, he asked you clowns, he said, what the hell did you come to see? You know, as a matter of fact, let me get that. When he was speaking of John the Baptist, Matthew 11, all right. In 7 it says, and they departed, and as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, all right, because he was in the wilderness, eating locusts, honey, preaching, and he had a following, man. He had power. The Spirit of the Lord was upon him. He was born of the Holy Spirit. See that? What went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaking with the wind? What the hell do you guys expect to see when you see a prophet? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft raiment are in the king's houses. But what ye out to see? A prophet, I say unto you, yea, a prophet, and more than a prophet. This is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare the way before thee. All right. And under John, all right, was the rest of the men of the Lord. And we're back here today doing the same thing, preparing the way for Yahushua, man. But John came again in this time, man. You see that? It says, "For verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he." You see that? So John the Baptist and the men of the Lord weren't these glorious things to behold when you saw them, man. Some of them will make you go, Nah, if you seen John the Baptist today, the vast majority of Israel would say, ugh. All right? Because what did the Lord say about the men that he would leave in the form of the remnant? All right, Zephaniah 3:12 says, "I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord." Okay? The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel, be glad and rejoice with the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. And that's the elect, that's the remnant. They will be an afflicted and poor people, man. Okay? Let me get a precept here too. Rude in speech. Rude in speech. Because the men of the Lord, yes, we're going to be rude in speech, man. All right? And we understand, sometimes you have to, cut back on using so-called what this world calls profanity, because really what's profane is saying you can eat swine or celebrating Christmas. What's profane is outside of the temple, saying that the heathen can be saved. That's profane. Profane is what's not hollow, what's looked down upon according to the Holy Scriptures, man. So to say you can eat, all right, pork hot dogs with chopped up in your spaghetti, or you could eat crab and lobster, that's profane speech. So these Christians who see us, they'll say, ugh, they're using foul language, but they're using profanity, but they're the ones who are profane. They're the ones who are outside of the temple, man. These words that we're using, shit, fuck, and all of that's not profane. Now, we understand that you got to catch them with honey. You shouldn't just overly use those words. And sometimes brothers do. And we have the right to use so-called curse words. But a curse truly is calling on the Heavenly Father to do something wicked to somebody and harm to somebody. Every society had their vulgar language and curse words, so-called curse words. The Messiah, he called Herod a fox. He said, "Woe unto you." He called them brute. They called them brute beasts. They called them putting them on a level of animals. Basically, what this is doing is that was the harsh language of that day. Upbraiding. Every society and age had its vulgar and harsh language, and the men of the Lord used it, man. Let's see here. 2 Corinthians 11:3. "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through a subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach." And a lot of your minds are corrupted from the simplicity that is in the Messiah, man. You make things worse than what they're supposed to be, man. You make it more harder than what it should be, man. Putting all these limitations on what the men of the Lord should be and all of that. It says, "For if he that cometh preacheth another Messiah, whom ye have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles." All right. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. So, yeah, he was rude in speech, but not in the knowledge, spirit, and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. All right? He's letting you know right there, man. That's why he said that. Because the way the men of the Lord come off, all right, it's not really accepted amongst this world, man. But this world is vile, vulgar, disrespectful, rude. Okay, but then when it comes to the men of the Lord, the ones who understand how wicked and vile this world is, we can't be that way. We can't use those words. We can't be angry. You people are full of shit, man. Full of shit, man.
things that people hate, that's what he's dealing with, man. All right? It says, so it's not entirely surprising that in John, the first chapter, Nathanael's first question to his friend Philip upon hearing the Messiah's hometown is Nazareth. Can any good thing come from there? They're like, Nazareth, you know. It says, spoiler alert, but yes, all right? I mean, I doubt the inhabitants of Nazareth ever thought they would bear the greatest of the Jew prophets, all right? Because we ain't Jewish, all right? Yahwadah, the top tribe, all right? The Son of the living God. I doubt that their name would ever be remembered long after the collapse of the conquering empire as the sacred home of God, the Nazarene, all right? And that's the same thing they're saying here in America, man. These niggas, ain't nothing good gonna come from these niggas, man. They're the children of God. You know, we had a so-called Jew coming to the camp yesterday. You know, and he didn't, and we sliced his ass up, man. He's just looking like, so you guys are the Jews. That's basically how they're supposed to be looking at us. But you got Israelites looking at us like that, man. It says, I doubt, it says, nobody, including the Nazarenes themselves, thought any good can come from there. They'd given up hope, all right? And that's us, man. The prisoners of hope, all right? And that's our people, man. They look at their surroundings and they're like, damn, man. You know? But hey, the Lord is gonna deal. It's Ezekiel 37. And 37:11, Ezekiel, the dry bones. And he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried and our hope is lost, and we are cut off for our parts. And that's what our people believe. They don't think that that's why it says in Malachi, wherein hast thou loved us? You know, like, damn, look at our condition, you know? But that's what the Lord is dealing with, you know, at the end of the day. So I just wanted to bring that out. I think the point was made, you know. Shalom.